That's something about there. Yeah, something about your recording. Um, as I said, it's a way for me to post this out to everybody who couldn't make it today. So, um, that being said, welcome to event management in the virtual world. Uh, I'd say this is actually a really good experience to be able to do this virtually because once you leave the university, I know how much we all just love doing online classes, but being able to video chat, video calls, especially if you haven't taken a 396 class yet, be, knowing how to use video conferencing is important for interviews and whatnot. So, but this is a very common thing. But let's start out a little bit. Is there any questions for me off the top about the class, about what's expected?
Yeah, I got
Quizzes.
Huh?
I have one question. What do you want me to do with all the stuff that we got, like for like donations for that?
So I've been in contact with um, David Buster's already. That's taken care of. What else are you talking about? Like the gift certificate to?
Yeah, I got the gift certificates at 810. One of my professors gave me like just little things from the aquatic center.
Okay. Um, honestly, I would just hold on to them for a little bit, and I mean, we can either use them for an event in the fall, or I don't know.
Keep them.
We'll use our best judgment as we go forward. We'll say that. All right. Um, yeah. Any other questions? Anybody? No.
Quizzes.
Okay. Quizzes. What about quizzes?
Are they based off these lectures?
Are they based off these lectures? Yes, in a way. In a way they are, but in a way they're not. So they're just like the normal quizzes that we've done. Um, there is leadership that's involved. So like one of your questions on one of the quizzes will deal with leadership. Um, a couple of, I think the first quiz, both of the questions deal with stuff we already covered in class. So the second quiz really deals with leadership. So after today, you probably should be able to take both quizzes. And full disclosure, they're not that hard. So they are open-ended feedback. I just wanted to keep it all contained in Moodle and not have to upload a thing and do any of that. So just you could have to do them in Moodle when you sign up or when you log in to do it. You can't exit out and enter back in, not to my knowledge. But you have unlimited time to do it. So just answer to the best of your ability. Um, just do it. Just put it that way.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
Got it.
For the project, actually 2 questions. So for the letter, is that something that each person does?
Yes.
Okay. And then for the overall project, do you want us to have written context to go with the stuff that's going to be in the appendix part of the portfolio? Should we be writing about things that we did?
So what I want for the project, first there's got to be the director's report. So both Kira and Brandon, you guys will write that at the top. So I think the first thing I open up, here's the director's report. And then each committee has to produce a report. And on that paper, if you looked at the paper I submitted or put online for you, it kind of exactly what I'm looking for. Who'd you mark it to? How'd you do it? That's really all I want. Essentially, I had to come up with something that I didn't want you guys to lose the value of what you've already done and worked through. So that's where we're keeping that for the 500 points to say in class, here it is. Or actually, that's the actual event execution component of it. The 500 points of what you did in class, that's really up to what we've already done. All right, so pull us up in here.
For our project, we didn't even get to work on the operations team. We're gonna work after that after spring break because we split 2 and 2, go with the sales and marketing, and then when we're gonna have spring break, we're gonna start working with operations.
That's fine. So your operations team still needs to theorize the operations of the event. and what you would do, how you would do it, yada yada yada. I mean, just plain and simple. Um, what I want you guys to submit to me is that I started off. I gave you both. I think I gave both y'all a binder at the beginning of the semester of here's your event. That's what I want you guys to give, essentially produce that I can give to the next group. Um, Obviously, you guys have gone through this at a unique time and how it all best pulled together. So it'll be really fun and neat to see what comes out of it. Um, and then your letter that you're writing, uh, that's an individual thing. Just as I brought some of my former people in to talk about the events, that's your opportunity to write to the next group and say, hey, here's what happened. Here's how it is. Here's what I'd recommend how to handle this class, what is expected of you, what are your expectations, how to put on an event, how this all plays together, maybe what you thought you didn't know and what you learned. So a lot of things to do. All right.
So I had the question. So with the director's report, marketing committee report, whatever group we were in, we just do that one?
Correct.
Okay. Because I had the question. I was in operations, but throughout this entire project, I was doing sales things. Like I was going out, gathering up all of the stuff for the raffles. So, I mean, I would feel more comfortable doing it from like the sales position because we, like Brendan said, we didn't really do anything for operations.
That's fine. If
So,
you guys, let me put it this way. I am going to be very flexible.
mhm.
Okay. So if you want to do that, and if Brandon, if he doesn't want to have a operations component in there, since we didn't do it, fine with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I am totally flexible on how you guys want to produce this, what you want. I just want a deliverable to me that I can turn around and say, here you go.
Okay.
All right. So
I want us to remake this, but like
Yes.
for what we have.
yes, I would like you guys to remake that binder. Except if you could do it virtually, that would be even cooler. Because then I don't have to have it sit on my bookshelf. I'm kind of run out of room in my office. Like other knickknacks and toys are taking up space. So, and I don't have room here. So, yeah. Any other questions? Just remember this um, after these lectures by Friday, you just have to write a personal reflection of what we covered. So whether that be leadership, other stuff that's there, just a mini discussion. That's all it is. Okay. Any other questions? We good? Anybody? Feel free to chime in. No? Okay. So let's start out. What do you guys remember from RSM 389? Or if you're in RSM 389 right now, maybe what did you learn? I don't know. What do you remember from it?
This is leadership. This was the leadership class.
Yeah, leadership.
The events we helped with.
What?
Like the events that we had to go help with, like one of the three. Like we got assigned like an event to go like be a leader at.
Okay. What else do you remember from it?
A lot of common sense, a lot of stuff that you just need just basic information to just be a good leader.
Okay. What else? Anything? What about leadership theories? You remember any of the leadership theories you learned?
The servant leadership one.
Huh?
The servant leadership theory.
Servant leadership. Okay. What is that about?
Like you still have a goal, and like you also have like a common goal and like an expectation, but you're kind of helping along more. Like you're doing it to help better like the people that you're leading, rather than just focusing on the primary goal.
One of the ways that with servant leadership, one of the things that I try and remember with is I heard an athletic director back in the day say that he wanted to be the wind beneath his employees' wings. That's servant leadership. So I'm in this place, but I am here to serve my employees and put them in the best position possible. Great, but where are the downfalls in that?
Maybe like things don't always get done because the
That's
primary
all-
focus is on.
Okay. Who wants to be the leader that, I don't know, irritates your employees, right? No, you don't want to irritate your employees. You don't want to make them mad. Think about in this class, if you're a committee chair or one of these roles, you don't want to make your employees mad, right? Theoretically, you don't want to make your committee members mad. We all, as people, want to be liked. Would you guys all agree with that? You don't want to be hated for the most part. I mean, no one wants to be that evil person, unless you're Patrick Reed on the PGA Tour. No one wants to be hated. Like, everyone wants to be liked. And that's with leadership where it gets hard because you sometimes have to be the person that isn't liked as a leader, right? Sometimes you have to make those tough decisions that people are going to second guess you all the time. They're going to have to do that. Think what's going on right now in society, right? My parents live in Ohio. The governor of Ohio was very forceful and quick to act to shut down everything, right? And people are like, oh, this doesn't happen. Why is this? Why are you doing this? Why? They only have 88 reported cases, last I saw. Like, they did it early and slowed stuff down. But at the time, he told people, oh, it's going to be difficult. People don't want to wrap their minds around it, right? So being a leader, sometimes you have to be able to grin that and realize it's not personal. That people don't hate you. They might hate your decisions, right? That's the hardest thing to ever get across. And I don't know if we teach that enough in leadership, but it's not people hating you. Right? And we have a bunch of Twitter trolls out there who want to tell us, oh my God, it's the worst person ever. This person doesn't know. Well, you don't know who that person is, but you also don't know where they're from. Right? But you don't like their decision, so criticize the decision. Absolutely. That's something I'll tell people every day. If you don't like my teaching, great. Criticize my teaching. Don't tell me that I'm an awful person. Right? I get your student evaluations every semester. And I see that stuff. Like, oh, he's awful. What? Really? I don't think I am, but whatever. So you learn to slow it off. That's something to think about. So in leadership, and you learn all these abstract theories, and part of why I love leadership is something I studied for 3 years at New Mexico. I went there to study leadership, and what we think it is when I went in knowing what I thought leadership was, where it says rah rah, get everybody together. How can I get people to do this thing? No, leadership is more about you, the individual, understanding what your own personal strengths and weaknesses are. Right? The best that you can understand what you're good at and what you're not good at will make you a better leader. One of the things that the class I took away, I took a leadership class in the business school out there. And one of the things we did was we had a leadership assessment of us from people who were superior to us at the same level as us and below us at different of where we work. So think about it in a corporation. All those people are going to say different things about us that I can then realize what type of leadership skills I have. But I know that if I ever get to a leadership role, one of the most important things that I could ever do, or anybody can do, is selecting your first follower. You guys ever did you watch the video on leadership of the dancing man on the hill? You know that video? Anybody? Okay, after we're done, I'll put the link in the chat thing. Go watch it. The guy is on a hill dancing, and it's a true leadership thing. He gets someone to embrace him. So if you think about that, you as a leader, when you go into a place, you are able to select who's going to be my first follower. That's a critical element to bring in. Because really, that person should be someone who, one, will account for you, but also will support you in areas where you might have weaknesses, right? Think about this as a new head football coach that gets hired, right? The new head football coach gets hired at a school. What usually happens to the rest of the coaching staff that was there? They get fired.
Gone.
They're gone. Why? Because if I'm gonna go down, if I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win with my people, and if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose with my people. Not some inherited thing, right? So, same thing. If a new general manager takes over a Major League Baseball team or goes into an NFL club, right? What do? They're gonna go get players who know their system, who know where they're at, who they've had before. That's leadership, in essence. They're gonna go get those followers to come, right? So as an event manager, you're going to have to, one, sometimes work with a small, tight-knit group that's around you, right? Who's going to be able to complement certain things? If you're not a salesperson, but you're really good at, say, like for me, if I were to pick a team, I'm very good at operations. I'm very good at leadership, morale, getting people together to work together. Can I go sell stuff? Sure. Is that what I want to do? Absolutely not. So I would then go find someone who's going to be my salesperson. Be a great advocate of me. Hey, you're going to be my VP of sales. Perfect. Go make that happen. I need someone who can go deal with old people because volunteer manager. I'm going to go find someone who's got that caring, compassionate side that can deal with them but also be stern. I'm going to go find a teacher, a kindergarten teacher. I'm going to hire them to come be my volunteer coordinator. Right? Think about it. Old people, kindergartners, same thing. You can make it happen. So, think through how you build your team because that's really leadership at its finest. That's that practical applied nature of leadership that you bring into event management, right? If you think back to beginning of this semester, Brandon and Kier, when you both picked your teams, like those are things. Did I not tell you ahead of time? Hey, think about who's going to be a good pick for you. Don't just go pick someone because, hey, you're my best friend. Sometimes it's not great to have that. Who's going to build the best team as you go? So, really, leadership and the applied nature of event management, there it is. And you can see the organizations who are highly successful, who can figure out how this works. If you think about, let's say, the NBA right now, or let's say the Olympics. What happened today with the Olympics?
I postponed it.
They got postponed, right? So, leadership, well, the IOC knows what they have and know how they're working this, and there's that team, right? What event really does Myrtle Beach need to happen over the summer?
Carolina Country Music.
Carolina Country Music Festival. We need that to happen down here bad right now, right? So if you're on that event management team, you're daily going, how can I do this? What's my group that I can put together? What's my dynamic group that I can bring in? How can I make this happen? So, leadership is highly important. Don't get wrapped up in leadership theory when you're actually out in the world trying to do certain stuff. When you're trying to have a job, when you're out there, the best advice that I could ever give you as future event managers, if you want to go that way, is learn about yourself. Know what you're good at. Know what you're not good at. Know your strengths and weaknesses, not only for exit interviews, because odds are we'll probably ask you that question, but know your strengths and weaknesses as an individual, how that interplays with others, who do you work best with, not just people, but personality types. How's that happen? Think through how you're going to coordinate that, because I guarantee you'll be put in a place to pull stuff together and build a team. So, any questions for me on leadership? No?
I was saying there an example. You were talking about how one leader, like the whole team I was gonna say like how the Panthers staff, Ron Rivera went to the Redskins, and most of the other coaching staff followed him because like they worked well together. That like an example, good example of that.
Yes, absolutely. Where that leader goes, and you have also some of that staff didn't have a job at that point, so they needed a job. But also, if they work well together and it complements, there's certain things like you can always tell. And I've seen multiple changeovers with coaching staffs in my career, where place I've been. I'll use the example at East Carolina University right now. There are 2 or 3 coaches that are there that were at USF when I was there, who came from ECU to begin with. Those 2 or 3 have stuck together, and they wanted to go back to East Carolina, so they got there. And another one with East Carolina, it's on top of mind. The head coach that's there, what's his name? I forget. The head coach that was there was at the Citadel before he went to JMU. Mike Houston's his name. Before he went to JMU, when he left the Citadel, he really didn't take anybody with him. He just went on his own. He used the staff that was at JMU and came in and said, hey, it's what I'm going to do. He brought in, I think, 2 people with him. Did that when he went to there. That's a very favorable move. So I've seen it both ways, where some coaches will bring a whole entire staff with them that plays, that knows how to work well, can collaborate well. But then if you think true leadership, let's look at Nick Saban, right? Look at Nick Saban in Alabama. How many coaches have gone on to get other jobs or left or done other things? And now he's built a culture, right? Where I can bring coaches in and you can fit into the culture that I have. My big question mark is Clemson right now. Has Clemson successfully built a culture that you just lost one of your main offensive people from the staff and a couple of your GAs and others that went to USF with Scott? So do you now have that culture in place where you can come in, or is that going to struggle? Because you had to fit some other pieces in. Did you fit the right pieces into that puzzle, right? So leadership is building a culture. How do you build that culture? You got to have the right people first to do that. And then after a while, you're the New England Patriots and you have, 20 years, but that's another one. Tom Brady leaves. I don't know. So there's a lot of unique things when you look at leadership, how it all plays together, culture and people. So, any other questions? Does this work well for you guys? Do you like this?
Yeah.
It beats a recorded lecture, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, we'll do this on Tuesdays at 1:30. Said keep my word, no more than 30 minutes. And with that, if there's any questions, just shoot me an email. If you guys want to talk one-on-one, I can set up the live chat through here, through Teams to do that. I do have office hours 9 to 11 on Tuesday through this. Just click the thing and join the team. I think Daniel came in today. I'm just sitting here, so feel free to stop in. But if you want a one-on-one chat, just let me know, and we can set up a call. However it works. All right.
And we just do the reflection on this, like what we just talking about.
Yes. Yes.
How long should they be?
The dreaded question.
Yeah.
How long should they be?
Get it
On a
done.
page. Do a page. Keep it simple. Page, no more than 2 pages. Eventually, just get them submitted to me. All right.
Email you or do we submit them on Moodle?
No, you submit in the middle. Please don't email me. Please don't. Submit it through Moodle. All right. Email me if you have questions. Don't email me your stuff because, yeah. All right. Anything else? Ask now. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
See ya.
That's all.
Good.